In 2015, a cellist named David Teie sat down to write music he would never enjoy. Not because he lacked talent, because the music wasn't for him, it was for cats. The challenge wasn't artistic in any way he had trained for, it was biological. To compose something that worked on an auditory system built completely differently from his own, in a frequency range humans barely register, structured around a heartbeat twice as fast as ours, for an animal that has spent 10,000 years living alongside us without once caring what was playing in the background. He had to forget everything he knew about what music is supposed to feel like, and then build it from scratch. The question underneath this is one most people don't think to ask. When your cat ignores the music you're playing, is that indifference? Or is it something more specific? Is the music bad, or was it never made for ears like theirs? A cat's hearing range extends up to 65,000 Hz. Humans top out around 20,000. That's not a minor gap. The overtones that give instruments their texture, the harmonics in a human voice, the frequencies that carry the emotional weight of music as we understand it, all of that sits in a range representing the bottom third of what a cat can hear. To a cat, most human music arrives as a muffled, low-frequency rumble from which the interesting parts have been removed. There's also tempo. Most music humans find moving sits between 60 and 120 beats per minute, roughly our resting heart rate. The reference point is inside us. A cat's resting heart rate runs between 140 and 220 beats per minute. Their purring sits between 25 and 150 Hz, at a rhythm nothing like a human pulse. Teie, working with animal behaviorist Charles Snowdon, built the argument plainly. Music only works when it's calibrated to the biology of the listener. Human music is assembled from human materials, our heart rate, our vocal range, the frequencies our nervous systems evolved to find meaningful. Hand that technology to a species with different materials, and it produces nothing. Not because the species is unsophisticated, because the instrument was built for someone else. So Teie rebuilt the instrument. The compositions he created draw from sounds in cats' actual acoustic experience, melodic lines that mimic chirping, rhythms that resemble the suckling of nursing kittens, tempo calibrated to feline heart rate rather than human. Frequency registers cats use to communicate with each other. To human ears, the result sounds like something between a nature recording and a malfunctioning synthesizer. Eerie, sliding, high-pitched, structured in a way that doesn't feel like music at all. That's not a flaw. It was never for you. The study Snowdon and Teie published in 2015 tested 47 domestic cats in their own homes. Each cat heard 2 pieces of cat-specific music and 2 pieces of human classical music, Bach and Fauré. The researchers measured approach behavior, orientation toward the speaker, rubbing, purring, affiliative responses. Cats showed significantly more engagement with the cat-specific music. They approached the speakers. They rubbed against them. They oriented with the focused posture of an animal that has genuinely registered something, not the glassy look of tolerating background noise. With Bach and Fauré, most cats did what your cat does when music is playing. Nothing. The researchers were careful not to overclaim. They didn't say the cats were enjoying it in any aesthetic sense. They said the cats were responding affiliatively, the same behavioral cluster they show toward familiar humans and safe environments. The music was landing somewhere real. Whether that somewhere resembles what you feel when a song moves you is a question that remains genuinely open. One detail stood out in the data. Younger cats and older cats responded most strongly. Middle-aged cats showed less engagement. The researchers think it's because younger and older cats are more affiliative by nature, more dependent, more oriented toward closeness. Middle-aged cats, at peak independence, had less use for it and tuned it out, which is, when you think about it, not so different from how human music works. Here's the part worth sitting with. The study didn't just show that cats respond to cat-specific music, it showed they don't respond to ours. 47 cats in their own homes presented with some of the most emotionally resonant pieces in the Western classical tradition. And they registered it the same way they register a closed window. Not distressing, not interesting, simply not relevant to any sensory system they possess. We've played music in rooms cats occupied for as long as music has been played indoors. We assumed, in the quiet way we assume things about animals we're fond of, that they were getting something out of it, that the ambient sound of our lives was company for them. The research suggests that for most of that time we were playing to an empty room while the cat sat in it. Music is not a universal language. It never was. It's a species-specific technology, assembled from the biological materials of the species that built it, and it works precisely because it resonates with a shared internal architecture. Change the architecture, and the technology stops working. The emotional power isn't in the notes. It's in the match between the notes and the nervous system receiving them. The cat on your couch has been there the whole time, through every playlist, every late-night album, every song that meant something to you, and they were somewhere else entirely, in a frequency range you can't fully hear, responding to sounds you can't fully make. They were never listening to your music. You just didn't know there was a different kind to play.